Alright, what's happening, kids? Cannibal Shogun here, giving you another tutorial. Alright, so we're going to start off here by talking about the tools palette. Hit up on the menu, find the tools area, up and down here. We'll scroll through the tools. You see you've got a few different tools to work with in the tools palette. The first three here are triggers. All three of them do the same thing. They are just different sizes. And what they do is trigger events in the map. So I'll place a trigger here. We're going to throw it right at the beginning, throw it up, and now before I go ahead and place it, I'm going to hit up to bring up the menu here, and we can look at a few different things we have to work with within the trigger. So there's four things that you can activate using the trigger. They are physics, animation, light, and explode/break. The two that you will probably use the most is physics and explode. Light comes in pretty handy too. Animation, I find I don't use very often, but it does come in handy every once in a while. And then at the very bottom here we have select objects. We don't have any objects yet to select. So let's go ahead and place a few objects so that we can make this trigger work. So we'll start out, we're going to build do a little ramp action here. So we'll put this ramp down here, and then underneath the ramp we'll put a bomb. Nothing too big, we don't want to completely destroy this place. So bomb, when you select bombs, they automatically start with physics active. So I usually like to go ahead and turn that off because I don't want my bombs blowing up before I want them to. And if the physics are active and the bomb is intersected with any other objects, it's going to explode. So physics deactivated, go ahead and place it. I'll throw a couple down here to make it fun. And then I'll throw in some other stuff for good measure too. We'll throw in a couple big wooden boxes here that'll blow up along with our dynamite boxes. Alright, so we got a bunch of dynamite boxes and a bunch of big boxes. I'll bring my trigger down here to where we're working at. So basically what we're going to do here is have this trigger set off this explosion as you jump over it. Whoops. Select the trigger here. We go into the trigger options. And we're going to select physics for all those boxes, and we're going to select explode/break for the bombs. Now we're going to go select objects here. We go throw our cursor on the box there, select that, on the dynamite box, another box, dynamite box, and now we've got everything selected. We go ahead and hit B. And now I'm also going to go and bring this box and cover up that dynamite box. Now that we have everything selected, if I had moved that there before, we would have had a hard time selecting that dynamite box that's now like underneath this. So now, basic idea, when we jump through that trigger, it's going to set off the explosion. So we'll go ahead and test that. And there we go. Trigger, set off explosion. That is the basic use of the trigger. I'll go ahead and save what I'm working on here. And I'm going to go ahead and load up an example that people often ask me about on my map, Infiltration. So I've been asked a few times about this point at the end of Infiltration here where the explosion goes off and then everything is frozen in the midair there. And this is used with a combination of triggers. So you will see here I've got all of my stuff built up here, my platform, and I have them kind of all irregular so that they'll fly off in different directions when this big bomb under here explodes. And then I've got two triggers on my ramp here. Trigger number 1 has physics selected, has explode break selected. We go look at select objects here, and it selects everything on my ramp, including my bomb, to blow it up and send everything blowing out. Second trigger, you'll notice that physics is not selected. You would think, because it says select feature to change, that you would select physics and then it would take the objects with the physics turned on and turn them off. But I have found that in fact just having physics not selected on all of these objects will put them back into a non-physics selected state. And then I also have this light up here, which is a green light, which comes down to kind of represent some sort of force field that is holding all those objects in place. So again, as we come through the track here, first trigger is at the bottom, sets off explosions. Second trigger is at the jump, freezes everything in the air. And you continue on, and that's the end of that. So one final thing about working with triggers is that any object in the environment that has physics enabled that touches your trigger will set it off. So like I'll make a little box here and I'm going to put it above my trigger, enable physics on it, and now if I test my physics, that box is going to fall through my trigger and set off that explosion. So if you're making something and you got a trigger and your trigger's getting activated and you're not sure why, first thing you gotta do is look really closely at what is touching that trigger right off the bat. You know, if this was a bigger trigger and it was, I guess I don't have anything with physics automatically activated right now. But I know like one thing I've heard people talk about is trying to make a sequence where multiple ramps fall down. You know, and if your first ramp falls and touches the trigger for the second ramp, then that second ramp is going to fall too. So you got to be really careful about where you place your triggers when you're working with triggers. Alright, so that's all I got on triggers. I will end this tutorial there and save hinges for the next tutorial. Hope you guys have fun and you found this useful.